Good morning, everyone. For those who don't know me, I'm Erin, also known as Forbesy. I'm the person behind Yoga with Forbesy, and this is Thursday Morning Thoughts. This morning, I wanted to touch base and talk about pleasure, perspective, and pockets of happiness. So, I looked earlier this week at Seeking Joy and invited people to investigate this in their own lives. Like, how do you seek joy? Where do you find pleasure? What perspective are you carrying with you into your day? So, with these things, like, there's so much that we are kind of naturally wired to do, ways that we are wired to work, but we have a level of control with this and we have a level of power to affect this. So it's like a brain naturally has a negativity bias. This is a survival mechanism from our evolution from hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago, from like the beginning of our existence, really. We are wired to survive. We are wired to watch for threats and concerns and things that put our survival at risk. The challenge that we face today with this wiring is that our bodies go into the same fight, flight, or freeze response when it is not a life threatening thing, but it is a stressful event. So maybe you're running late for work, you're stuck in traffic. Your body goes into that same scenario as if a bear were chasing you down. So these are things that we kind of need to become aware of and work with to help shift our perspective to some degree and find a little more balance and find a little more joy and pleasure in our lives, as we can get very much stuck in this spiral of negativity if we're not aware and not doing anything to shift that. So I talked about the idea of seeking joy. How do you seek joy? How do you seek pleasure? Where do you find it in your life? This idea that it is everywhere around us, and it's up to us to kind of look for it, because it's like we generally find what we're looking for. So if you're always focused on the negative, you're going to find more negative. But if you can shift your focus and start seeking pleasure and seeking joy and finding those pockets of happiness, which is a phrase my wife uses to describe any sort of like small moments or moments in the day that make you smile, that bring joy into your world. So it's like these are always happening as well. They are always available and always like a part of our day. So it's a matter of seeking them and being open to finding them. So this could be as simple as that first sip of a great cup of coffee. It can be laughing till you're crying with your best friend, a smile from a stranger, getting a job. There's so many different things it could be. Somebody let you in traffic. Somebody held the door open for you when your arms were full of stuff. All of these little things that we often ignore or just kind of miss because we're not paying attention are these pockets of happiness. These are these pieces of pleasure and joy that the more we seek, the more we will find, and the more they add up. And it is all these tiny things that keep adding on each other to increase the pleasure we have in our lives and to increase the value that we can see in our lives. Because we get these perspectives too, where we only see pieces of the story and we see somebody become this like overnight success, or it seems like they just suddenly like everything happened for them. And this is one perspective, but we don't know the background in that. We don't know all of the work. We don't know all of the ups and downs these people went through to get to this overnight success. How many times did they hear no and went, okay, try again? How many times did they stumble and fall? We have no idea, because we only ever see, especially today with the social media and that, we see highlight reels. So we need to stop comparing the behind the scenes we know for ourselves personally with someone else's highlight reel when we don't know the background story, because that doesn't help any of us. And the comparison amongst each other is not helpful either, because it's like, I'm not you, you're not me. Our paths are not the same, our journey is not the same. Even if we are side by side walking together, it's still a little different because our history is different and our individual view of the world is different. And I think this is beautiful. We can learn so much from each other when we are willing to shift our perspective and try and see things from another's point of view, to see things from multiple directions at the same time. And I love learning. I love learning from others. I love learning from experiences. And these are things that I find joy in. I find pockets of happiness in connection, in community, in life in general, the simple joys, the simplicity of things. It always makes me smile to see a plant growing out of a crack in the sidewalk, whatever it might be, because it's that reminder to me that anything is possible. Anything I want to achieve, if I am willing and persistent, I will get there. The timing may not be my ideal because I don't have control of that. The universe is controlling timing, so it's having some patience and some understanding that this journey is the point. It's not about the destination. As something I was watching the other day said, there's really only one beginning and one ending. The rest is just middle. So let's enjoy the middle. Find the pleasure, seek joy, notice the pockets of happiness. I hope you have a beautiful day and a beautiful rest of the week, and we'll talk again soon. Thanks for listening.